Welcome to the bold. If you're wondering why June 5th happened and the president's main source of hostility, it is nothing apart from dishonesty, blatant lies. This is not something that it's only me saying. Vietnam Gas CEO, days after meeting the president and his prime cabinet secretary, Salim Devadi, penned a letter and said the administration need to put off the mic so that they can turn on power. Ladies and gentlemen, what has happened in Narok today is political theatrics. And I agree with those who say it was a Narok turn for you to be told what you want to hear. And I've looked at the way our president is talking, the too much talking and explanation really tell you that there was a lesson that William Ruto needed to have learned from Uhuru Kenyatta. And the Narok rally is actually vindicating some of the things we say here, that it was a mistake to go after Uhuru. Kindly subscribe to our channel. Before we get deep into that, I want to still remind you about our urgent appeal we are running to support this girl, Lucy. Lucy is a student of doing physiotherapy in Homa Bay, KMTC. And she comes from a very underprivileged family of only one parent who is also mentally not stable. So she was supported and she was taken to school last year by one of just someone in the community there, a BM teacher. But of course, the fees was not sorted and she was stranded. She cannot do exams or neither continue the studies. So when her case was raised to us, we decided why not? And that is why I'm asking you to partner with us, Steam Bold Foundation, so that we can be able to cover her arrears, to pay for her arrears, and also sort her other requirements. At a budget of 150, which we are targeting, we believe that I will send someone to Homa Bay, one of my team members to Homa Bay, on Friday morning so that we can paint a smile in her face and we're going to adopt and support her.
Good evening. My name is Okungu Lucy from Homa Bay, KMTC, pursuing diploma in physiotherapy. I'm kindly requesting for your support in my school fees. I have a major challenge there. And I hear at school, when you don't complete your fee, no exam will you be allowed to sit for.
Kindly support this. Some of you have been asking me, Kevin, you're not doing something home. This girl comes from my school. Yes, my high school. Alisomea huko. That is where she did her KCSE. And I feel that support me so that we support this girl. Now, while the then deputy president blasted Uhuru Kenyatta on what he termed as underdevelopment in the run-up to last year's general election, Uhuru set up a biggest leather company in Ewasonyiro, Narok. And today, the president was there for a relaunch of the project. And analysts are a keen observation at what has happened there is that he's taken advantage and rode on a project of a man he really demeaned. This is the post 2021. I want us to look at this. After Uhuru finishes his term, someone did, I and millions of my fellow Kenyans will remember him for putting up the largest leather tannery in East Africa. The modern Ewasonyiro tannery in Narok County is currently producing leather products en masse drawn from hides and skins from beef farmers, which were previously going to waste if third-party purchaser wasn't available. Kenya being the third largest country in Africa in livestock production and can now export industrial leather and related finished products like hats and shoes. And this was shared. Then, today, the president was back in Narok to launch that same project, and Kenyans are quick to remind him. This is what they're saying. William Ruto was there. We are adding value to our local products to increase earnings for our farmers and create jobs for our young people. The revamped and expanded Ewasonyiro tannery in leather factory is a compelling testament to our commitment to reviving our manufacturing sector. However, the information coming is that there is nothing like revamped. It is just that which Uhuru did. In fact, Uhuru did it. Uhuru never went for any launching. Ilifanyikana na yeye alifanya akaenda. So the statement revamped. I've seen questions being raised because there is no other input the government has put in that. Still in Narok, there is also another project that has also been seen, and that was the launch of KMTC. This KMTC you're seeing here, the president went to launch it. And this project was birthed in August 2021. High hopes as KMTC makes debut in Narok County. It was birthed by that time. So those are the projects, the two projects that the president have said belong to him. And it is now coming out clearly that even though he attacked Uhuru Kenyatta as a man who did not do something, that is not coming out. Now, I want to tell you it is Narok's turn to receive their dose of the lie, and they've received it in a very good quantity. And you will understand why then the president is doing a lot of explanations. There is something, there's a mistake he made, and he doesn't have a reverse gear on it. Look at some few things here. We paid attention to the president's tour in Narok because of Barakoi incident. And I want to believe the reason why the president was going to Narok, ordinarily also the uproar from Barakoi when police killed 5 residents. And there is this video of this gentleman confronting IJ Kanja. I saw a very good question from one of analysts, David Wafula. And David Wafula was asking a question that there is a problem in the security docket, and the Kalenjin mafias are not blaming, like in Narok, they are not blaming Murkomen, they're actually blaming Kanja. So if they're not tribalist, why should they confront Murkomen? So that today the president was there. And he dodged that debate, and it was in public. It caused public uproar that police waliua watu. He did not weigh on that, but instead, he's talking about Kedong Ranch, and is not said any statement, made any statement in relevance to the other incident. And interestingly, the president is talking about buying more land to add for the 4,000 that are there. Then he's already bought 6,000 acres to add into the 4 that are available. Then ajui wenye atapatia, so anambia nipatie majina wale watapata hiyo pepewa hii shamba so that we give them titles.
Mimi nimekuja hapa kwa sababu wakati nilifanya campaign muliniambia mnataka sehemu ya kule shamba ya Kedong mkasema pale kuna historia ya Wamasai. Ni kweli ama si kweli? Sasa nataka niwaambie, ile mlikuwa mmepatiwa ekari 4,000, mimi nimeongeza ekari 6,000. Sasa mtapata kama watu wa Narok County ekari 10,000 kwa ile mambo ya pale Kedong, na mimi niko tayari kupatiana title deed zenu. Ile mimi nangojea majina nani tutapatia hiyo title deed. Wewe Governor Ntutu, ndugu yangu Mheshimiwa Aramat, senator wetu, mama wetu wa county, mupangane, mupeleke list kwa wizara ya ardhi na makao. Sisi tuko tayari, watu wa Narok wapate haki yao kule Kedong. Tumeelewana jameni? Si tulikubaliana tufanye hiyo kazi? Jambo la tatu.
Listen to this. Let me tell you. Nimechukua pesa ya serikali nikanunua where? From who? Who is this person in Narok who had 6,000 acres and bought land and gave it to Narok people? You can look for paper whether there is such a gazettement by the ministry. There is nothing like land that has been bought. And then if it has been bought above board, then it has been bought from government or from a parastatal. Come on. But the whole thing was supposed to demystify the fact that is being blamed. The Kenya Kwanza team are being blamed to be the one behind the Barakoi incident. So the Kadong issue is very interesting because on how the president has actually handled it. Second one. There is a pitch on international airport.
Wakati nimekuja hapa kwa mambo ya economic forum, watu wa Narok walituambia kwa sababu Narok ni county yenye sifa yake ni utalii. Nyinyi mnataka kuwe na airport ambayo itarahisisha usafiri. Wale watalii watoke sehemu kote Kenya na duniani, tuwe na airport hapa international ambayo itatuwezesha kukaribisha wageni, kukaribisha watalii. Ndio Masai Mara yetu itupatie nafasi ya kuongeza rasilimali na mapato kwa watu wa kaunti ya Narok. Jameni, tulikubaliana hivyo? Leo mimi nimekuja hapa na contractor. Sawa sawa? Na huyo contractor tumemlipa milioni 700 kutengeneza hii runway ya hapa. Mnanielewa? Na contractor nimemwambia nitarudi hapa mwezi wa 3 mwaka ujao kuja kufungua hii airport ikiwa imekuwa tayari. Sasa wewe contractor utajua vile utajipanga. Ama namna gani jameni? Si namna hiyo? Na mimi nataka nishukuru county government ya Narok. Huyu Mheshimiwa Ole Ntutu, governor wenu, ametoa pesa kiasi hiyo milioni ingine 700 ili tuweze kujenga hapa terminal building. Mahali wazungu wakifika wanapokelewa, mahali kutakuwa na vifaa zingine za airport. Na mimi nataka niwaambie watu wa Narok, pongezi. County government ya Narok, pongezi. Bwana Ole Ntutu, pongezi. Si tulikubaliana namna hiyo watu wa Narok?
I studied in Masai Mara University, so I stayed in Narok for 4 years. I went to Masai Mara Game Reserve, I think, twice. For those 4 years, I was there twice. It is a very brilliant idea to have an international airport in Masai Mara. It's a perfect idea because it's going to boost tourism. Some of these tourists don't want, but barabara ya kuenda huko, hey, see, it's very far. It's very far from Narok, and it was not looking very good. So it was a very good, brilliant idea. But is it really true that it's an international airport being built there, or it's an airstrip, or what it is. Skia budget. I've given 700 million, and county government is giving 700 million. At 1.4 million, can you have an international airport? Come on. Now, the status team, that their video, they captioned it. International airport. Using 1.7 million, is it realistic? Is it pragmatic? But because people are pushing goodies, as to whether that is going to be made, it is a matter of see. Kama kuna one of the promises and is the fakest kwa the president's promises hii ya airport. I remember when I was in Bungoma, there was a Matulo, an airport was promised in Bungoma. Nowhere to be seen. Even in Kakamega, the one in Kakamega is gathering dust. The one in Kabunde airstrip is having some little life because of Air Renegade applies that route. Tim, I can tell you, we are in for a rude shock. So, the other issue is about the pitch on tribalist. The Ruto believes he's talking about unity. And if you want to know that he's feeling threatened, is Amenda Narok. And he's talking about a deal with Raila. Tuwalete watu pamoja, nini. So because he's realized that Rigathi, Matiang'i and Kalonzo and the other team are lining up, na wako wengi, na yeye anaonekana mtu mmoja, now he's decided to bring Raila. And there is a question of unity. When you have 2 dockets, 4 dockets, you give to Raila. You give Raila gets 2, Wandai, Mbadi, then gives 2 to 1 to Coast, 1 to Western. And then you have Raila around. Is that the definition of unity? If the unity is defined by principles, when this country is divided into 2, where there is a Ruto, then the other part is Raila. So that if you have Raila, you've defined unity. Because that is what he's saying. And according to him, if that is the definition of unity, then uko side ya opposition coalition, there is Matiang'i Kisii, there is Rigathi Kikuyu. Let's just look at those principles. There is Kalonzo Kamba. There is Eugene Luye. So honestly speaking, then who is then tribal? And I listened to him talking about it, and I also wanted you to listen to Patrick Olintutu, the governor. The governor is saying Ruto and Matiang'i should not go there. These are the people that are talking about unity. Come on. And I think the statement is even reckless. Matiang'i comes from Kisii. Kisii borders Narok. And there have been clashes between Narok and Kisii for quite some time. So the leadership, that statement in its sense is also very reckless for even making that. So you will understand the issue about it. And by the way, the Rigathi Gachagua team need to be very careful. And they must come out and counter that tribalist thing. That is the card, that is the only thing William Ruto is saying. He's saying, you guys have an agenda, you guys are tribalist, and this and that. And so he's trying to form an us versus them. And he will spend the next 2 years castigating the opposition coalition as tribalist. Spending all the time everywhere talking about it and charging people. So you must find the best way to counter that. Ruto is facing, the president is facing a big problem. And it is the question of explanations. Anaongea mingi sana. Yani, anaji-explain sana mpaka, like, you know, sometimes even when you, for example, in sales and marketing, when you're selling a product, and you are talking too much about it, I even question you whether the product is legit. Anaongea, yani mpaka unashindwa sasa, hey, rais, shida iko wapi? And that is why I feel that some mistakes he did. There is too much explanation because of mistrust, because he doesn't trust the people. He doesn't trust his cabinet. Uhuru Kenyatta had Kagwe when COVID was here, and Kagwe could do the work. Uhuru Kenyatta had Matiang'i. When it was needed to communicate, people will speak with command and listen to people speak with command. That was Matiang'i. William Ruto lacks, he doesn't trust, the people around him, the cabinet are not talking. Of course, they even fear talking because some of them feel, tutapingwa. Now, also his insecurity of tenure is exposing him to more ridicule and pressure to, the pressure to please, because he feels insecure. And that's why he's struggling with a lot of explanations. And these explanations are actually, is digging more hole. Because the more you talk, the more you find yourself lying. Government is paying spokesman. Some people who can speak, but I think is struggling to win the people. And I still believe, looking at the kind of the projects is launched in Narok, you must agree that there was no need of even attacking Uhuru Kenyatta, because then he's taking advantage. Those are the ones that is making hapa, naenda najaza nini, anaongelea, naita watu hapo, anapiga siasa, anaenda. Thank you.